Inside of Diablo Immortal, we have Shadows and Immortals, but how do you become one of them? I'm going to be showing you a guide to all of this today. So as you guys can see, we're talking to the Unspoken, who's going to be showing us the journey and the story that it takes to become a shadow, because you must become a shadow before you become an immortal. And we're about to see a little bit of this story as we place the scroll. This is going to first give us the story of the Immortals, and I'm going to kind of share it with you, take you along on the journey as we go on this together. Diablo the Builder created the eternal crown for her son, Keon. With this powerful artifact, Keon became the first immortal. His duty is to protect Sanctuary from the burning hells, but he would not do it unwatched. Entering Shadows, we have Akiba, Diablo's daughter. She's going to make sure that the immortals are worthy of their job by any means necessary. So this is Immortals versus Shadows. We have Keon. He's going to be the immortal protecting against hell. And we have the daughter who's going to be the shadow, making sure that the immortals are doing their job. And if they're not, take the place of those immortals as immortals themselves. Now, this is what we're going to be registering for today, but registering is not as easy as just jumping in, getting to a certain level, and then being a shadow. You have to actually go through a process, and there's actually different times throughout the day when you can enter a lottery so that you can actually become or get the chance to become an immortal, because only 500 players per lottery 3 times per day can actually become a shadow to eventually take the place and kind of be in charge of the immortals. I'm going to take you right now to the Hall of Immortals, where you're going to be able to be etched in stone inside of your server if you are an immortal and if you do well as an immortal. This is a really great feature inside of the game that is going to be forever part of the server. So if you are an immortal or one of the best immortals, you will forever be known in your community right here inside Diablo Immortal. That's some epic stuff that we're talking about right here. And you notice we're making our way up here, and this is right by where the honor merchant is. We're going to pass that honor merchant on the way. And up here in the technical alpha, things were kind of bare. They were blank. There was nothing really here, but now there is. And take a look. We're going to be meeting up with the Unspoken yet again as the quest continues. And he's just giving us more of the story down below. If you want to read that, you can. Notice though, in this closed alpha, there is no speaking with the text. It hasn't been implemented into the game just yet. That's going to be coming soon. But this right here is the Wall of Honor, which I think I called the Hall of Immortals before. It's the Wall of Honor. And this is where you would be etched in stone, literally, as the years go by inside of this server if you make your way to being an immortal. So we're going to actually speak with Keon right now to hear a little bit more about that story. Telling you, he looks pretty cool. Now remember, we have this Wall of Immortals, but we also have that statue for the lieutenants, for the #1 that's going on inside of the server at that point in time. So you could really get that credit where it's due if you're doing well and if you're being part of this whole journey. The Eternal Crown has had many owners through many cycles. It bestows great power and greater duty. As an immortal, one must put Sanctuary's needs above all others and battle against the forces of the burning hells. Immortals do not fear death, for if the immortals should fall, the burning hells may rise before the next in the cycle can take their place. Now, this cycle that they're talking about is that 1 to 3 month cycle where we have shadows possibly taking place of immortals, immortals possibly dropping down and becoming shadows. I'm telling you right now, I'm really excited to be a shadow because I want to try and take that spot. Now we have some details about being immortals. So this is me unlocking all of this stuff in the game, which you will eventually be doing, which is cool. So we have the crown abilities, which we're going to take a look at first. Crown abilities. The immortal leader and lieutenant possesses crowns that grant unique potential abilities, including boosts to attack speed, critical hit chance, defense, and healing. The Eternal Crown, crafted by the builder Diablo, secures the immortal's power. The crown's rank and the strength of its bonuses increases your reign grows in dominance. Commendations. The immortals store powerful equipment and gold in the vault. Each week, the supply officer distributes treasures to all immortals based on their contributions and participation within the faction. Immortal cloaks. As an immortal reign grows in dominance, all members unlock special cosmetic cloaks that can be worn as long as they remain a member of the faction. So that's giving us a good look as to what you get as an immortal and how you have this ability to kind of be some of the best and get those perks from being some of the best. But the shadows are where you have to begin. That is where you're going to actually be to try and take on and take down, knock down these immortals from that top tier. The immortals defend sanctuary from the burning hells. Becoming an immortal, you inherit the power and legacy of an ancient Nephilim. Being an immortal legacy. An immortal reign echoes throughout sanctuary's history. It's showcased in Westmarch's architecture and carved into the wall of honor. Goals. In addition to protecting sanctuary from domestic threats, immortal must defend their reign against the meddling of their rivals, the shadows, and undertake the mythic rites of their order. So there we are, finally hearing a little bit about the shadows and how we're going to be starting out on this journey. Now, I have just signed up to be a shadow. I entered the lottery, and you're going to see that happening at the end of this video, the process that you need to do to actually make that happen. But right now we're still going through the story and all of the dialogue that you're going to go through once you finally unlock this ability. And when do you unlock it? When you hit level 43. Before level 43, you are not able to unlock this ability to become a shadow. There we have the Hall of Ascension as well, only available to immortals. So even us as shadows, when we become shadows, we're not going to be able to go in there. So right now we're pathing somewhere. I believe I'm going to where we would go to the Tavern so that we can actually join that lottery and hope. And here we are inside of Westmarch, coming in upon the Wolf City Tavern. You have to speak to the mysterious patron. As you can see, he's about to tell me that it's not time. And the times will be posted here in a second. Now, we're being told that this is only available to us between 12, 6, and 9 p.m. Pacific time, server time, whatever the time is in your server that you happen to be logged into. So that's literally 3 hours of availability for you every single day out of a 24-hour day. So what I was doing at this point in time was I had about an hour and a half before it was time to jump in. As you could see, it was 7:19 and I needed to wait until 9. And then we were going to be able to go back and enter that lottery, which would then allow me to become part of this, if I'm lucky, Shadow Reign. Now, as you can see, I'm hopping down here and I have 9 following me along the way. He actually was not following me at all. This is another area, the Court of Whispers, that becomes available throughout this process. And I'm going to kind of show you what we have going on right here in the Court of Whispers, because we need to enter the Assembly Hall. And believe me, I am new to all this as well. This is just recorded by me an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours ago at this point in time, but we're meeting up again with the Unspoken. And he's telling us the story about the Shadow Guild. And remember, that's the Shadow's job, to make sure that the Immortals are kept in check, making sure that they're doing their job and keeping everything safe from the demons of hell. And now we need to deliver this scroll to Akiba so that we can know more about the Shadow side of this Immortal versus Shadow clash that we have going on inside of Diablo Immortal. It's been delivered. Akiba was given a vital responsibility by Deodessa, a secret the Immortals could never know. Working covertly, Akiba found those willing to share in this burden, and thus the Shadows were born. They will find the cracks, places of weakness, and expose them as much as they can. They will plot and plan unseen, finding new ways to challenge those in power, and they're talking about the Immortals. And should the Immortals fail to live up to their station, the Shadows will take over. But they know, as Akiba knew, no one holds the eternal crown forever. The cycle of strife is always turning. And what this means, guys, is that no immortal is going to stay in power forever. That balance is always going to be shifting back and forth between the Shadows and the Immortals. Shadows taking reign and gaining that power. Immortals losing that power, fighting to get it back, trying to make themselves the best builds in Diablo Immortal that they can, so they have the best chance of holding that reigning spot. This is an exciting and amazing feature inside of the game that I personally can't wait to dive on into. And check it out. What do we have here? And it looks like we're waking up. What are we seeing? Looks to me like we have become part of the shadows. At least the feature has been unlocked inside of the game, but we still have to go through that lottery, which is available at 12, 6, and 9 p.m. every single day, where only 500 can join. So that still needs to happen. Thank God that the Unspoken was here, as well as my good friend Nemo from the Scrappy Academy YouTube channel helped guide me through this process so I would know exactly what I was doing, so I could be in an understanding enough position to share it with you. Now, these are the rumor chats that are going on. Now, since there's the shadow function, it looks like there's some type of chats or discussion or even information segments that you can get. I don't know too much about this yet, but I was excited to see it. I think it's put together really well. It looks really nice as well, but I have not yet gotten to test it. But it does tell you basically the things that have happened. The vault has been raided. Planning stages have taken place. These are the things. This is basically a timeline of what has happened for the shadows. And now, an hour plus later, we're here to enter the lottery. The time is right, and it says that my name has been entered into the lottery. Now, when do you find out if you're going to win? It says it's going to come through my mail, which is my in-game mail. But with that being said, you have to wait 1 hour because the lottery is for an hour. Remember, it's a 1 hour, a 60-minute slot. So I have to wait for everyone to enter, cross my fingers, and hope that I win the lottery and can become a shadow. But guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video and decide that you want to come back tomorrow to learn more about Diablo Immortal, what's coming, how these systems inside of the game work, and maybe even just check out some of the dungeons that we're running so you can have a good understanding of where to go, what the best routes are, and maybe even some of the best builds to basically have the best performance inside of the game. Make sure that you're prepared so when Diablo Immortal launches, or if you get your hands on the closed alpha, you're in the best position to dominate inside of the game. I appreciate you guys. Remember to come through my Discord server. It's the pinned comment down below and always in the description of all of my videos, and sub the channel and ring the bell if you like Diablo Immortal and if you want to see more. But we're out for today. Have a great day and be good.